"Don't embarrass your sister on her special day," my mom hissed, her grip tightening on my arm as I tried to slip out of the bathroom. My face was still dripping wet, the sting of fruit punch lingering in my eyes from where they'd dumped it over my head. "Just clean yourself up and act like nothing happened," she said, her voice sharp but low, as if the words could erase the humiliation soaking through my skin. My name is Olivia, and at 16 years old, I learned a brutal lesson. Being the younger sister of Madison Evans, the golden girl of Oak Valley High School, came with a heavy price. Madison was the undisputed queen bee, her every move watched, her every smile worshipped. Her Sweet 16 party was supposed to be the event of the year, a glittering showcase of her perfection. Instead, it became the night that turned my world upside down, exposing truths I'd long buried under silence and shame. I never wanted to be at that party. Madison had made it painfully clear I wasn't welcome, her icy glare cutting through me when our parents insisted I attend. "She's your sister, Olivia," my dad said, his eyes glued to his newspaper, as if family unity could be summoned with a single sentence. "Family supports family. Family." The word felt hollow, like a promise that never quite materialized. But I went, dragged by obligation, hoping maybe, just maybe, I could blend into the background and survive the night unnoticed. The party was everything I feared it would be, a teenage nightmare painted in strobe lights and fake laughter. I stood awkwardly by the snack table, clutching a plastic cup, while Madison and her friends ruled the makeshift dance floor in our backyard. The music pounded too loudly, the air thick with tension and the cloying scent of perfume. I felt like a ghost, invisible yet painfully out of place in my pale blue dress, the one I'd saved up for months to buy, hoping it might make me feel like I belonged. It didn't. "Look who's trying to blend in," Kira, Madison's best friend, sneered as she sauntered over, her voice dripping with mockery. The little ghost sister finally found some color. She gestured at my dress, her lips curling into a cruel smile. I tried to slip away, my heart pounding, but Kira blocked my path, her presence looming like a storm cloud. Behind her, Madison watched, her expression a familiar mix of disdain and amusement, as if my discomfort was her entertainment. Two more of her friends, Ashley and Devin, flanked me, their smiles sharp as broken glass. "We're just trying to help, Olivia," Devin said, her voice syrupy sweet but laced with venom. "You clearly need it." Before I could react, Ashley's hand tilted and a cascade of fruit punch splashed down my dress. The cold liquid soaked through instantly, turning the delicate blue into an ugly, splotchy purple. Laughter erupted from the nearby crowd, a chorus of cruelty that echoed in my ears. "Oops." Ashley giggled, her eyes gleaming with malice. "Red's definitely your color." I bolted for the bathroom, fighting back tears, my cheeks burning with shame. The sticky punch clung to my skin, a reminder of how small they could make me feel. But the worst was yet to come. The bathroom was supposed to be my refuge, a place to wash away the punch and the humiliation. But Madison's friends followed me, their footsteps echoing like predators stalking prey. Madison trailed behind them, her presence like a shark scenting blood in the water. Is baby sister crying?" she taunted, her voice dripping with fake concern. "Maybe if you weren't such a pathetic loser, people might actually like you." Kira pulled out her phone, the camera flash blinding me in the bathroom's harsh fluorescent light. "Smile, ghost girl," she said, her tone mocking. "This is going on my story." Before I could move, Devin grabbed my arms, pinning me in place, while Ashley dumped another cup of punch over my head. The red liquid ran down my face, stinging my eyes and staining my dress beyond repair. The girls laughed, their voices a cacophony of cruelty, but Madison? She just stood there, her phone raised, recording every second of my humiliation with a calm, detached smile. "Nobody will believe you anyway," she said, her voice steady, almost bored. "You probably did this to yourself for attention." Her words cut deeper than the punch, slicing through years of silent endurance. When my mom burst into the bathroom, I thought, just for a moment, she'd see the truth. But one look at Madison's perfectly composed face, and I knew how this would end. "Olivia's trying to ruin my party," Madison said, her voice wobbling with practiced emotion, tears shimmering in her eyes. "She's always been jealous of me, and now she's making a scene." I stared at my mother, waiting for her to see through the act, to recognize the pain in my eyes. Instead, she turned to me, her face etched with disappointment. "Why can't you just try to get along with your sister?" she sighed. "Go clean yourself up and stop causing drama." That night, I lay in bed, the sounds of the party drifting up from downstairs, laughter, music, the clink of glasses. My dress was ruined, my dignity shattered, and my own family couldn't care less. I pulled out my phone, desperate for a distraction, when a notification caught my eye. A message from an unknown number. I saw what they did. I got everything on video. Want to make them famous. Attached was a clip, filmed from a different angle, showing the bathroom incident in stark clarity. The punch, Madison's recording, my mother's dismissal. Someone else had been there, hidden from view, capturing every moment. My hands trembled as I watched the footage. For the first time, there was proof, undeniable evidence of what they'd done, what they'd always done to me. Another message popped up. They post their perfect lives on social media every day. Maybe it's time people saw the truth. My finger hovered over the reply button. Years of being the family ghost, the sister who stayed quiet, the daughter who didn't make waves, it all crystallized into this moment. Madison's laughter echoed from downstairs, followed by the sound of breaking glass and more giggles. My mom's voice floated up, indulgent as always. "Girls will be girls." I took a deep breath, my heart racing, and typed my response. "Do it." Little did I know, those 2 words would unravel our family's carefully curated image by Monday morning, exposing the cracks that had been there all along. Monday morning arrived with a storm of notifications buzzing on my phone. The video had gone viral overnight, spreading like wildfire across multiple platforms. Someone had edited it masterfully, starting with clips of Madison's perfect party princess persona from her social media, smiling selfies, glamorous poses, before cutting to the raw, ugly truth of the bathroom incident. The contrast was jarring, undeniable, and impossible to ignore. I walked into Oak Valley High School with my head down, bracing for the usual invisibility. But today was different. Whispers followed me down the halls, not mocking, but sympathetic. "Did you see what they did to her?" one student murmured. "That's so messed up." Her own sister just stood there filming. For once, I wasn't the ghost sister. I was seen, and it felt both terrifying and liberating. By third period, the school administration summoned me to the principal's office. Madison was already there, her mascara smeared from crying, her usual confidence replaced by panic. My mom sat beside her, her face pale, shell-shocked. "This is a serious situation," Principal Torres said, her voice stern but measured. "Bullying and assault are zero-tolerance offenses at Oak Valley." My mom tried to interject. "It was just girls being girls," she started, but Principal Torres raised a hand to silence her. "Mrs. Evans, we have clear video evidence of 4 students assaulting another. The fact that this happened off campus doesn't change the severity of the situation." Madison's head snapped up, her voice desperate. "It wasn't assault. We were just having fun." Olivia's always so sensitive. "Fun," I said, my voice stronger than I'd expected, cutting through the room like a blade. "You recorded your friends attacking me and planned to post it yourself. How was that fun?" Principal Torres turned to her computer and played a clip, not just the bathroom incident, but a montage of similar pranks Madison and her friends had pulled on other students. Someone had compiled months of their social media cruelty into a damning highlight reel, exposing a pattern of behavior that stretched far beyond one night. "We've received dozens of emails from concerned parents," Principal Torres continued. "Many students have come forward with their own stories." My mom's face went white, her hands trembling. "Surely there's something we can do," she pleaded. "Madison's college applications." Principal Torres cut her off. "Madison's actions will reflect on her college applications, as will those of the other students involved. 2 weeks suspension is the minimum, and the school board will review whether further action is necessary." Madison burst into fresh tears. This isn't fair. Someone set us up. They filmed us without permission. Like you filmed me? I asked quietly, my voice steady. Like you film everyone who doesn't fit into your perfect world? The fallout didn't stop at school. By lunchtime, the local news had picked up the story, local teen bullies exposed, social media queens revealed as cruel tormentors. My mom's carefully maintained composure cracked like thin ice. Do you have any idea what this will do to our family's reputation? She demanded, her voice trembling as we sat in the principal's office. I looked at her, really looked at her, and saw something I'd missed all these years. She was just like Madison, more concerned with appearances than the harm done to her own daughter. You mean like what you've done to our family by always choosing her over me? I said, my voice steady but laced with years of pain. Every time she hurt me, every time her friends targeted me, you told me to stay quiet, to not make waves, to think about the family image. Well, Mom, the image is broken, and you can't blame me for the cracks you helped create. The office fell silent. Even Madison stopped crying, her eyes wide with shock. Principal Torres cleared her throat, breaking the tension. Mrs. Evans, I'm also concerned about the home situation this video reveals. The school counselor would like to speak with both girls separately. That won't be necessary, my mom started, but I cut her off. Actually, I'd like that very much. For the first time in my life, I watched my mother's control slip completely. She couldn't smile this away, couldn't smooth it over with a dismissive laugh or a quick excuse. As we left the office, my phone buzzed again. Another message from the unknown number. Phase 1 complete. Ready for Phase 2. Madison, walking ahead with Mom, turned back to glare at me. I hope you're happy, she spat. You've ruined everything. I thought of all the times she'd ruined things for me, birthdays, school events, friendships, always with that same satisfied smirk she'd worn in the bathroom. No, Madison, I replied, loud enough for Mom to hear. I'm just getting started. I typed back to the mysterious ally, what's Phase 2? The response came instantly, the truth about what really happened at last year's summer camp. I have that footage too. Madison's step faltered ahead of me. Her phone had buzzed at the same time as mine, and from the way her shoulders tensed, I knew she'd received a message too. For the first time, I saw fear in her eyes, and I felt a flicker of something new power. 3 days into Madison's suspension, the summer camp video dropped. Unlike the party footage, this one was darker, more sinister. It showed Madison and her friends trapping a freshman in the camp storage shed overnight, stealing her inhaler as a cruel joke. The girl had begged for it, her voice trembling with panic, but Madison had laughed, calling her a drama queen. The girl could have died. I was in the kitchen when I heard my mom's coffee mug shatter on the floor. She stood frozen, staring at her phone, while my dad finally looked up from his newspaper, his face pale. Our daughter could be charged with attempted manslaughter, Mom whispered, her voice breaking. The girl's parents are pressing charges. Madison stormed in, mascara streaking down her face. It wasn't like that, she cried. We didn't know about her asthma. The video shows her begging for her inhaler, my dad said, his voice sharp, cutting through her excuses. You laughed and called her a drama queen. I watched from the doorway as my family's perfect facade crumbled completely. The girl's parents weren't just pressing charges, they were suing our family, the school, and the summer camp for enabling Madison's behavior. My mom turned to me, her eyes desperate. Olivia, you must know who's doing this. Make them stop. I met her gaze steadily. Like you stopped Madison all those years? Oh, wait, you didn't. My phone buzzed again. Another message. Final phase tomorrow. Watch the morning news. That night, I couldn't sleep, not from guilt, but from anticipation. My mysterious ally had promised this would change everything, and so far, they delivered. At exactly 7 a.m., our doorbell rang. My mom opened it to find a news crew on our doorstep, cameras rolling. Behind them stood Ashley, Devin, and Kira, Madison's former friends, flanked by their parents and what looked like lawyers. Ashley stepped forward, her usual queen bee confidence replaced by genuine remorse. We're here to make a statement, she announced, her voice steady but heavy. About Madison Evans and the pattern of abuse we participated in. One by one, they confessed everything on live television. How Madison had orchestrated years of bullying, blackmailing them into participation by holding their own secrets over their heads. How she manipulated events, people, and evidence to always come out looking innocent. She told us if we didn't help her, she'd destroy our lives, Devin admitted, tears in her eyes. But we can't live with the guilt anymore. My mom tried to shut the door, but it was too late. The story was live, beaming into homes across the city. Madison appeared at the top of the stairs, her face white with rage. "You traitors," she screamed. "I'll ruin you all." "No, you won't," a familiar voice said from behind the news crew. Principal Torres stepped forward, holding a USB drive. As school principal, I've gathered evidence of years of systematic bullying, including testimony from dozens of students. The school board has made its decision. Madison Evans is expelled. I felt a strange sense of peace wash over me. Finally, everything was coming to light. That's when I noticed someone else in the crowd, a quiet girl with a camera. Katie, the yearbook photographer who always seemed to be everywhere yet nowhere. She caught my eye and gave me a slight nod. Suddenly, it clicked. The mysterious ally, the perfectly captured footage, the strategic release of information, it had been Katie all along. The invisible observer, just like me, who'd finally decided to expose the truth. The aftermath was swift and complete. Madison's college acceptances were rescinded, her dreams of a perfect future shattered. Her friends, now witnesses, received suspended sentences and mandatory counseling as part of a plea deal. My parents, forced to face the reality of their negligence, enrolled Madison in a behavioral rehabilitation program and began attending court-mandated parenting classes. Slowly, they started to see the damage their favoritism had caused. My dad began putting down his newspaper during conversations, actually listening for the first time. My mom learned to pause, to hear uncomfortable truths instead of dismissing them. As for me, life changed in ways I never expected. Other students started talking to me, sharing their own stories of surviving Madison's reign of terror. I went from being the ghost sister to someone people actually saw, someone whose voice mattered. A month later, Katie approached me during lunch. "Thank you," I said simply, my heart full of gratitude. She shrugged, a small smile playing on her lips. "I saw you that night at the party. You reminded me of myself last year, before I decided to start documenting everything. Sometimes, the best revenge is just showing people the truth." "Why didn't you tell me it was you?" I asked. "You needed to stand up for yourself without knowing you had backup," she said. "And you did." She was right. Each time I'd spoken up over the past month, it had been my choice, my voice, my strength. That evening, I sat with my parents for our newly instituted family dinner, Madison joining via video call from her program. "I'm sorry," she said, her voice small, almost childlike. "For everything." It wasn't enough to erase years of torment, but it was a start. My mom reached for my hand across the table. "We're sorry too, Olivia," she said, her eyes glistening. "We should have protected you." "No," I replied, thinking of Katie's words. I needed to learn to protect myself. But now that I have, maybe we can all learn to be a real family. It wasn't a perfect ending, but it was an honest one. And sometimes that's better than perfect. The videos are still out there, a digital reminder that the truth always finds a way to surface, and that even the quietest voice deserves to be heard. Please feel free to comment below if you liked this. Remember to like and subscribers for more.